Have you ever left a situation and just felt like you said the wrong thing? Or you kick yourself later because you know that what you said wasn't the right thing and you should have said this other thing? I feel like this happens to me all the time. I feel like as I've been bumped into this season of not having a lot to do or being trapped at home or wondering, man, what is the future going to look like? I found myself kind of coming to these moments with God often. I was saying, man, what do I even approach God with? How do I even talk to God in this season? What does it even look like to present my request to God? What does it even look like to be honest and sincere with where I'm at and come to God in these moments? And maybe you wrestle with the same thing, and maybe you're sitting here in the scene saying, I want to make much of this. I want to reorient and refocus myself on God. I want to find my sense of identity through my being, not my doing. And yet then you come before God and say, well, how do I even begin this conversation? I'm struck by the words in Romans 8, verse 26. And Paul here, right, who's this missionary and who's encouraging the church, and he says to the church, he says, sometimes you come before God, and as you're crying out to God in words, you don't even know how to approach the throne room of God. He says it's okay because the Spirit of God is interceding on your behalf, and he's crying out in groanings that we can't even comprehend. And I've been so struck by this in my own life. That Paul is literally saying here that when you come before the creator of the universe, you don't know how to talk to him, that the Spirit who is inside of you, God's Spirit who dwells within you, is literally crying out for you. And that when you don't know what to pray for, you don't know what to ask for, that the Spirit of God is crying out for you. Oh, that's beautiful news. That literally my job is just to come before God, and even if I don't know what to say or what to do, that his Spirit inside of me is crying out on my behalf, is saying the things that I don't know how to say. And I find so much comfort in that, especially in this season when I find myself often not having the right words, often not knowing how to approach God, often wondering if I'm saying the right thing or doing the right thing, and instead I'm reminded by this passage that I simply get to come before God. And that in doing that, that is enough. And I can trust that God's Spirit inside of me is crying out for me, is asking for the things that I don't even know how to ask for. As you sit in that, I wonder what it would look like to open up your heart and your soul to saying, God, it's okay to simply be here in this moment. And to trust that God's Spirit is crying out for you, is interceding for you, is rejoicing over you in ways that you don't even have words to speak. I mean, you find truth and comfort in that this week, knowing that the Spirit of God lives inside of you. And would you live into the power of the Spirit of God, because that Spirit is alive and is active, and find peace and freedom in the fact that that Spirit is crying out for you, allowing you to simply come and approach God as you are.